So I'm going through it, and I don't have a choice. I got to keep going through it. I got to keep functioning. I got to keep showing up for everything, cleaning up, doing laundry, cooking. Some of the stuff I'm doing now, yeah, it's a mess down here. Like, it's a mess. It just is what it is. I mean, I still got to show up, and I also have to show up with this extra burden all the time. So a way for me to keep showing up and still having to deal with this is to be able to talk about stuff around it with you, because this just helps me to keep my whatever little bit of mental health and peace that I have. It helps me from just really crashing out to talk about some of the stuff around it that's also kind of funny. So yeah, I know my nails need to be repainted, but I'm not back on duty for days, so it is what it is. Like, I just don't have time. I don't have time. I don't even have time to keep my nails painted. Like, I'm going all the freaking time. I just have so much to keep up with. I would not wish this on anybody. I think I make it look good sometimes. I think I manage it well, but this is hard and it's frustrating as hell. If I can go back and do it all over again, I would. I really would. I was looking at I looked at a driver's license of myself when I was 19 years old. And the day that I took this license, I had been married for 3 days. I was in college full time, and for whatever reason, I just thought it was a great idea to marry the guy who was the love of my life. Do I regret my relationship with him? Nah. Do I regret getting married? Hell yeah. 19 years old. If I can go back and do a lot of things over, I would. And I would, if I knew that getting involved with men, getting into marriages, which is a whole contract, like binding myself legally to someone and giving them that much power, having babies. If I could do it all over again, I would. And I encourage my children not to do any of the stuff that I did just to avoid it, including my son. I encourage my son not to be like his father. I encourage my daughters just to be selfish. Be selfish, be self-full. Leave these men alone. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. I've been with the good ones, the bad ones, the money, little bit of money, moderate to maybe a lot of money or whatever, highly educated, little, it has not been worth it. It just has not. So I was in court yesterday. I was there all day because, this is one of my days off. I get a few of them. And on one of my days off, I'm at the courthouse, the Superior Court, getting advocacy and other things, but also filing an emergency order because I'm doing everything I can to try to prevent what I know my ex-husband is capable of doing. And I'm learning a lot along the way. I don't have a choice because I don't have the thousands of dollars to keep paying an attorney. So at this point, so as I'm watching and editing this video, I realized something could be really confusing to you all. So let me just stop here and clarify something. I've had 2 ex-husbands. So in the beginning of this video, when I talked about me getting married at 19, that was to the first husband. Now, when I'm talking about being in court right now, I'm talking about being in court against the second husband, the cockroach, my former abuser. And if you want more of that backstory, there is a video series on my YouTube channel called Behind the Badge. So I just needed to clear that up. So sorry about the confusion there. But anytime you hear me saying something that's essentially kind of good, not too bad, not monstrous, I'm talking about the first ex-husband. All this bad shit, the abuse, and just the fuckery that a lot of you have stood in solidarity with me and donated against, and the legal stuff and all the hell, that's the second husband. So just wanted to clear that up. All right, back to the video. I'm having to fight it myself in that other state. I have an attorney in one place, but I don't have an attorney over there anymore. Which is why I also have the GoFundMe. So yes, please click the link. I think if you click the link in my bio, it takes you to my website. But there's my GoFundMe link. I'll try to figure out how to put that in the bio too, is whatever. But to help with all that. So I'm in family court all day yesterday, all day long, because I'm waiting to see a judge for this emergency hearing. And there's something I noticed when I was there. It's kind of funny. I'm trying to latch on a little bit to the humor of it because it allows me to laugh and not really just go the fuck off like I just really want to about everything. But it was so eye-opening because I've never had to sit in and just watch everything that was going on because I had to be there and you can't have your phones on. I noticed all day long basically two different types of people and two different approaches. The men that were coming in, all but one, and I was there from about 11 a.m. until almost 5 p.m. I can't count the numbers, but I can tell you almost all of the men that came in, they weren't stressed. Matter of one came in with this bravado like he was stressed, but he was laughing about it and almost proud to say that some woman, his baby mom, supposedly is stalking him and this and that. That's another thing. The men that were coming in, they wanted to come in with and get an audience. They came in and they wanted to be validated. They wanted to tell everybody and force their story. And I've got another video on my YouTube about how a guy did that at the DMV. They come in with their stories and it's almost like it's rehearsed and this drama that they seem to be proud that they created. And they want everybody in earshot to know about whatever their plight is, whatever their story is. And it was always the same complaints that she won't listen or she won't this and she won't that. And I feel bad for those ladies who are working in the court clerk's office or at the desk and counters, because these people are like literally trying to force him to be their therapist. These ex-wives that came in. So there was a stark difference. The men that were coming in, again, they were coming in cavalier, cool. I did not see one of them come in there with already bringing documentation and having their shit together. Sure, it probably happens. It didn't happen yesterday during the hours of 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. because I was there all day and I had to see all this stuff. A completely different mindset, a completely different attitude. Here's the shift. Here's the difference. The women that were coming in. Something else I'll say about the men. A lot of them came in like they just had all the time in the world. Let me tell you some of their stories too. So one guy comes in and he wants everybody in the whole damn lobby, and he's just making a big deal out of it, talking about how his baby moms, I guess, or something along whatever he called her something that had to do with baby moms. He didn't say like girlfriend or wife or ex-wife. So also the lack of respect completely, even with that. But he wanted everybody to know that she's stalking him and that some of his homeboys found some trackers on his car. Who knows if it's true or not? Because he never produced any receipts about this. This is everything that he's saying, mind you. If you're coming to a courthouse, where are the receipts? But that, he had trackers on his car and that she's been tracking his text message and she's so bothered by everything he's doing. And, he's coming to respond to something that has to do with, I think custody and visitation. But he wanted to talk about her so much about all the stuff that she's doing and this and that, which had nothing to do with why he's coming in there to respond for child support and custody. Like, we didn't need to hear all that. Those ladies, everybody that works in that counter, like there on those counters, they need a raise because like people need to be paying a therapy fee, because all the guys that came in, here's another story I heard. Another guy comes in, he needed an interpreter. But the stuff that I did hear him say in English, I was just like, Are you kidding me, sir? So he was coming in to request that his child support be lowered. Mind you, it was already less than $500 a month. Why do I know this? Because, it's all out in the open. Everything's being discussed out loud. So his child support, he has a job. His child support is already less than $500 a month. I remember that. I forgot what it was. Let's say it was $350 or $250, something that was under $500. And he was asking for it to be lowered. And the lady was trying to explain to him, you can't come up to the desk and just ask me to lower your child support. There's a whole process. As she's trying to explain to him, he's talking over her. Dude, she's trying to help you. Now, I saw at least 5 guys do this when they came in because, at least 5 do this. They had this back and forth. So she's trying to explain the process that you don't just come in and just ask to lower your child support. There's paperwork that's involved. There's this. So she's trying to explain the steps. He ain't trying to hear it. Number one. Then, of course, there's an interpreter who comes in. It didn't seem like it was going well even with the interpreter because, I'm a man. I come in, I tell you what to do, and you're just going to do it. That's it. Like, oh, my God. Like, the mindset. So then he started talking about some agreement between him and her. I don't know why she indulged it. I don't know. But she did. And she said, well, if you and the mother have an agreement, then, we don't have any proof of that. All we have is this order. And he was like, well, we had an agreement, but she won't listen to me. I swear. I swear to you, he literally said this at the counter. She won't listen to me, but she won't listen to me and she won't lower it. Dude, is this kindergarten? Oh, you know what? Somebody else tried to invalidate the video that I made a couple days ago and I posted up, or maybe I think, and I posted it yesterday, saying if anything happens to me, it's my ex-husband. And somebody tried to invalidate me on my YouTube by going, but she's still wearing her wedding ring. You stupid dumb fuck, first of all, you dumb fucktard. If that's the first thing that you want to pop off and think because I'm still wearing my ring. I'm not still wearing my wedding ring, but if I wanted to, okay, if I want to wear any of the diamonds that I've got in the past from any men's, guess what? I can if I want to. What the hell does that have to do with what I said about that person? So this is my sologamy ring. I got it for myself, and it's actually the best rock I've ever gotten for... Actually, no, I didn't have to buy it. It was a gift for my birthday last year when I was doing some filming on Mr. Beast. That was awesome. So, yeah, it's a whole set, and that's my gift to myself from, I guess you can say, that team. And that's another story. I'll have to do a video about that another time. At some point, I'll do it. I was a part of the first team and basically amongst the first set of losers for that Beast Games, but... You know, I'm grateful for the opportunity to do anything that is connected to my passion and my dream every time I get it. Win or lose, whatever check I get, you know, that also helps, you know, also when you're working and you get extra gigs, that also helps, you know, the household and the family. Nevertheless, it is possible to be a struggling singer and actor, have a full-time job, have nice jewelry, and still not be able to afford the thousands of dollars of fees for attorneys in 2 states. It's possible, okay? So don't really know if I needed to dignify that, but I just thought about it, so I figured I'd say it. So back to the point. So I'm talking about the Spanish guy now. He's talking about how he wanted to get it lowered, but she won't listen to me. Like, you come to the courthouse and that's your argument. I want to pay less child support. I want to take care of my children even less, and she won't listen to me. Emotional tears all day is what I saw at the courthouse. Here's another one. Guy, this was the most outrageous one to me. Guy walks in, dreads looking pretty nice too, you know, so it looked like he was very meticulous with how he took care of himself. Walks up to the clerk or whatever the desk is and says, I'm gonna need them papers for custody of my 3 kids. Like, literally, this is how he starts. And he actually thought he was gonna get somewhere. And the lady's like, there are no papers for custody. I need you to be a little bit more specific. And he's back and forth with her because he's like, literally, he goes back and forth for a couple of minutes going, I just need the papers. And she's like, what papers? Like, oh, the delusion of these guys who just walk up and think, I said it, so let it be written, so let it be done. Like, that was the attitude of a whole lot of them. This is how they're showing up in court. This is literally how they're showing up in life to these poor women and children. God. So there's back and forth for a little while. And then she says, okay, you know what? Let's start here. Give me the names of your children. She asked for their names and the spellings, and he got offended. Now, when you ask a man a question and he get an attitude, you already know why. Because you done caught his ass in his bullshit and his lies. And it gets better from here. So he's like, and taking his time trying to spell out right. He's looking at his phone, mind you. This motherfucker is looking at his phone as he gets ready to proceed to give the names of his 3 children. And then he says something about, I need to put them on my Section 8 for my house, or a house he's trying to get. And I'm like, wow, this motherfucker up in here trying to commit some Section 8 fraud for some children he obviously does not know well. So then she asked for their date of births. So he says the month and date, and she asked for the year, and dude almost crashes out because he does not know the year. You know how a person's about to crash out, but they're doing it while laughing? It was like that, and it was the scariest thing. When I got to that point, I said, oh my God, let me go take a walk down the hallway, because if some stuff it pops off, I don't want to be nowhere around, because he's escalating. So then he calls the baby moms, or I'm going to guess it's the baby moms, but he calls somebody. And again, I know all this stuff because every XY that walked in there, except for one, came in there with so much vibrato, and they forced an audience to everybody around. They got to be loud. They want to be validated. They want to be heard so bad. Like, mommy, look at me, look at me. Like, they never grew out of this shit. And these are the batch of men that a lot of women are stuck with, and unfortunately stuck with for life. Somehow they know how to mask themselves, enough to be able to get with decent women. Ask me how I know. Ugh. So he calls someone and he's like, yeah, bruh, I asked you for the birthdays. That means the years too. So he's arguing with somebody, and he's trying to transfer that energy of his ain't shitness onto somebody else, instead of owning the fact that you don't know your kid's birthday, and you should probably know this, and you don't. The lady at the desk, I don't understand how she kept a straight face or how she continued to have like decent decorum with all these people. I don't understand it, because I just, I couldn't. I couldn't. I mean, as a flight attendant, I get tried on a regular, but their trials and tribulations at that desk is a little different. Oh my God, it's just a little different. God bless them ladies. And I say ladies because it was all ladies working at the desk. You know, I know guys and girls work at all them desks, but at the one I was at, it was just all girls. And there was one guy, but he was not at the desk, and he was not friendly either. Jackass. He definitely accosted me when I went in to file an emergency order, and he treated me like, and that's something else I noticed, Black women in the courts, they automatically get treated like we're some angry bitches and we're wrong. Because I saw 2 other Black women come in there, and they also were automatically, it's like they're trying to get rid of you and find a way to shut you down before you even get started. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm the victim here. The fuck? But you're not allowed to be as a Black woman. But okay, back to the point. So the guy is trying to basically put it off on somebody else because he's embarrassed because he doesn't know his children's full date of birth, including the year, because you ain't shit. But you're asking for, I need them papers so I can get full custody of my 3 kids so I can put them on my Section 8. Like, it was like a whole like Jerry Springer, maybe Maury Povich. No, it was a whole Jerry Springer situation without the fights up in this courthouse yesterday. And I'm like, wow, you could literally sit here with a camera and have a whole reality show up in here. Huh, wow. So what else did I see? That was the most outrageous one. So let's talk about the women. When I see the women coming into family court, mind you, I was there from 11 a.m. to almost 5 p.m. So a whole day's worth of seeing people come and go, families come and go. All the women, and I mean all of them, they all had a completely different tonality to them, the way that they walked, the way that they moved. The majority of them like were coming in like in scrubs and uniform and other things, and you could tell that their life was being interrupted by some bullshit on the other side. One woman was a nurse, and she said it, I should be at work right now instead of having to deal with this shit. I feel a lot of empathy for her because she came in and she had to take the day off to come in and lose money because she said that she was doing virtual appointments or virtual court dates, but that the court was allowing this man to come in and continue to berate her and curse her out and everything else. And they wouldn't hold him in contempt of court. They wouldn't they would not control his behavior. And she never got a chance to speak. And she said, I know my rights. I'm not consenting to this anymore. Everything from now on, although it's going to cost me more and I'm going to have to take the whole day off work, everything from now on, I have to come in. And she's being forced to come in to file whatever she had to file for court dates going forward for them to be done in person, so that he has to show up to court and have proper decorum in court. Because you probably can't, I'm going to guess that they're not going to allow you to act that way in front of a judge and in front of a cop, the way that apparently she said the courts are allowing him to. But it's just, there were so many stories, but that's the one that stuck with me the most. And then it was just other things. Like she said, she's been dealing with this for like over 20 years, having to come back and forth to court for frivolous motions that he gets to file. There's so much wrong with the court system, and it was just crazy to be there all day witnessing it. Why? Because they're able to file these frivolous ass cases and completely disrupt your entire life. Oh my God, it ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. Leave these knickknacks alone. Just leave them alone. If you can't there's no hope. Don't give them any grace. Don't give them any hope. Young ladies, please, I'm 42 years old, and if I could go back in time and unfuck these motherfuckers, I would. I swear to God, I would. They just weren't worth it.
Y'all, I'm officially a YouTube partner, and I just launched memberships. Join my community for exclusive perks like behind-the-scenes content, custom badges, and shout-outs. Hit that join button and let's level up together, because we're just getting started, baby.
And they will show you potential, and they will show you that you can have a good life together. Some of them will, some of them, they just, but they can mask and they can present themselves to be God-fearing and this beautiful life, and I want this or that. Or sometimes, because I've even had one or two say this too, I know I can't give you the world, but I'm going to try my best. You're this, you're that, and I know I'm not good enough for you, but stop it there. Stop it. Just let's believe them. Please believe them. Let's see, 2011, 2021, almost 20. Ooh, marching toward, okay, maybe not marching toward 20 years later, but oh my God, like 15 years later, and I'm still having to deal with the consequences. Is it all my fault? Hell no. Is it all these women's fault? Hell no, it's not. But all decisions have consequences, good and bad. And sometimes some stories like take a long time to end, even when you have evolved and shut the door, or tried your best to shut the door on things in your past that are beneath you, that are not healthy for you and everything else. Sometimes you can't stop the forever, it seems like forever current or ripple from a tiny, from a pebble that you dropped years ago. And that is what so many of us women had to deal with in the court yesterday. There was one woman that came in with her new husband and her new family. And she still is having to go into court because of some fool trying to fight her for, whatever the custody is or child support. I couldn't quite, get all of that. I noticed that a police officer stayed with them the whole time too, probably because she was afraid that he was going to show up, like I tried to do the last time I was in court, because I know that my former husband is a cop. And I don't trust nothing about him at all. I know what he's capable of, and I will not be anywhere that he could show up, if I can help it, without having some sort of armed security, because I don't trust him at all. He's a demon. And a quiet, congenial one at that. And those are the ones that you don't see. Okay, so back to court. So I'm in court. I'm seeing ladies come in, and their whole demeanor was different. They came in upset. They came in obviously interrupted, obviously completely just fucked with. And a lot of them came in with purpose. Like, I got other things to do, but I'm having to come in here and respond to this, or I'm having to come in here to file and ask for an enforcement for something. You didn't hear them really telling their stories and wanting to be, let's say, like, validated. A lot of them were coming in looking for protection, looking for solutions, not really being problematic. Are there some women that are? Sure, but that's not what I'm here to talk about, because that's not what I saw. The majority of what I saw, to wrap this up, were guys coming in with vibrato, guys coming in not even knowing their kids' full date of birth and social security numbers, but asking to get out of child support, lower child support, or I want to fight for custody because of something that's going to benefit, or they think it's going to benefit me, or I just want to keep some shit going on. Women coming in, going through the domestic violence office like I had to go through as well, asking for more resources, for protection, for further stability, to try to further insulate their lives from the shit that they have had to deal with, or the shit that they're still going through. Something else that I noticed while I was there, and I learned even more of, is that this court system is so broken, and it forces a lot of women and mothers to take matters into their own hands. And it forces you to be on the wrong side of the law oftentimes, because the courts are reactionary. I can't even say until, but I'll start there. If you ask the courts to try to prevent harm, there is nothing they can do, it seems, to prevent it. But then once you are harmed, then they'll do some things that are reactionary. But the damage is already done. It's already done. It's a scary place, at least in this country, if you've ever dealt with a man who is dangerous in any way, who is harmful in any way, because you can't go to the courts and ask them to protect you. They're going to say, when's the last time he hit you? When's the last time he did this and that? And if he's harmed you in a way that's not obvious, they'll put you on the stand and they will treat you like you're the one that has to prove something. And that's like putting you through it again. There was a lot of those conversations that really makes you feel like, okay, nobody's coming to save me. There's nothing I can do. I don't really know what can be done to fix this. It doesn't seem like anything will ever be done to fix it. The only thing that I know to do is to talk about it, and to be one of probably a few, probably many, to scream from the rooftops. Don't give them a chance. If you have a weird feeling, which I did in the beginning, I had a weird feeling about this guy, but I had people around me say, oh, he's a police officer. He's a church going man. He's been in the church. He's got a relationship with, I don't know, which church was it? There was two. One of them was called like Bethlehem Star or something in OKC. One of them is like a long-standing like historical Black church that has a great name, and he's connected to this family that all seem to be a God-fearing family, and a lot of them seem to be really good people. And people, if you, let's say you look at a guy and you have no reason to believe that he's bad for you because everything on paper and everything in front of you checks out. Like, he could be really respectful and show up well, and people can show up well for months, for years, and play the long game. You don't know what's in a man's heart and mind. You don't. But if you have a feeling, because I had a feeling, I just couldn't prove it. That's all you need. That's all you need. Don't give these, just don't give them a damn chance. Just don't. It ain't worth it. When I look back at the women in my life, the very few that are the happiest and healthiest, one of them is still alive to this day. One of them, I feel like she was one of my sheroes, but then she married somebody 20-something years older than her, and it just seemed like her whole vitality just went down from there. Like, God, like, that's another thing. Like, look at what happens to your average auntie or other person in your life who decides to get married. Did they glow up? Or did they just start to just diminish, like, everything, their light, their looks, their weight, everything else? Like, it's not that good for us overall. It's really not. But the few women that I knew that the family would call them selfish and self-centered and talk about this and that, and maybe they did it because they were jealous, because the few that I knew of the women that had it going on, I mean, look great, healthy, traveling, good credit, everything else, they were all single. And even the flight attendants that I fly with, a lot of these grown women that like just have this like just energy, and they're just, again, their vitality up, happy, a lot of them single and not allowing themselves to be subjugated to marriage and family. My children are incredible and I love them, and I would never take them back because I already have them and I'm attached to them and everything else. If I could do everything again, and I tell them, I'm very honest with them, if I could do it all again, I sure the fuck would. I would unfuck their fathers in a heartbeat. Does that mean that they wouldn't be here? I don't know. Maybe if their souls were assigned to me and I was supposed to be a mother of four, I wholeheartedly believe I would still have them, but they would have much better DNA. They would have much better DNA. And they would not look, the two of them, when I look at them, I thank God that when I look at them, I don't see their father. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe somehow Mother Goddess, universe, whatever, shielded me from that. I think it's amazing. I'm so happy I don't. I just see them. I see them. I see some of me. I don't see him. Thank God. I know my son, for the first 2 years of his life, he looked just like him. And a part of that was hard, but he don't anymore. Thank you, Jesus. Woo! Thank you. Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, I don't know who to thank for that, but thank all of y'all. Thank you. You helped me out. If they were designed, if they were supposed to be mine, then they still would be, or maybe I'd be their rich auntie. I don't know. You know, I love them. I love them wholeheartedly. Sure. They are children, are gifts, you know, if that's what you decide to do. And that was my choice. I was raised that if you have an AB, you would go to hell. So during that time, although they were conceived in ways that were very traumatic to me. You know, as a matter of fact, all four of my birth stories are traumatic. And one day I'll sit down and do each video, or maybe discuss it on a live panel. You know, women when you're pregnant, that is, during that whole time of your life, you are so vulnerable. And I've learned that is when a lot of XYs are the absolute worst to you. And that was my story for all four of them. And my son, his was actually the worst. I was abandoned the entire pregnancy because that motherfucker impregnated me on purpose. He told me he did, because he felt that would prevent me from being able to divorce him, and it would make me have to return to him and be stuck with him, because now I got 4 kids, and what you gonna do now? Those were his words. Like, he really thought that shit was gonna do it. When he discovered during the pregnancy early on, like, I'm not stopping the divorce. Like, when I told him, and even the night that I wasn't pregnant, that man liquored me up on purpose. I was not the woman that I am today. I was did not have a sense of personal agency, and that's probably why he's mad, because I am not that person that I was back then. I was not that little girl. I was not, I was a lot of things, and I was also broken. So the point was, when he discovered early on that, wow, that didn't do it. Like, that didn't just break her all the way. Like, she's really going to go through this and she's not coming back. He abandoned me the entire pregnancy, which was a gift from God. It was, because it gave me the time and space I needed to be able to really go back and look at all the signs that were there, and to actually let things sink in that I had heard about him, things that I'd seen and witnessed, things that I experienced. It gave me the time and space to really accept everything that was, and start to really develop boundaries during that time. That's one thing I think metaphysically about becoming pregnant and giving birth. It's almost like the heavens start to just like protect that child. And if you got to grow up some more, and if you have to come to these great realizations, it's crazy, like the changes that happen during that time that allow you to stand on business more and more for each child. It's like whatever that child needs during that time. I think for maybe I don't know, maybe you need to be tuned in and plugged in a certain kind of way, perhaps, because I know and I see the stories of mothers who don't have good instincts for whatever reason, but for me, I was able to develop some things during that time and that space, because he abandoned me the entire pregnancy too, because I said to him, I will never return to you. You are not healthy. You are dangerous. However, I feel like I have a duty and a responsibility to allow you an opportunity to still show up for your children as a healthy, safe person. And I did. I kept that door open, and I had rules and boundaries. And once them rules and boundaries came up, he said, fuck you and them kids, like straight up, like even told me out of his own mouth, it'd be better for me to have nothing to do with you and them kids. So why over 10 years later is he trying to show up and fucking terrorize our entire life now? I don't know. But anyway, during that pregnancy, completely without him. And even when I gave birth to my son, it was completely alone. Like, it was completely unexpected. So when he came, like, I caught him in everything. And the doctor and the nurses came in later, like, okay, wow. Like, hi. Well, hi. First there was one, now there's two. Like, what are we to do? So I've already gone over the differences in family core of men and women according to what I saw yesterday all day between the hours of 11 and 5. I'm going to take this video and I'm going to edit it a little bit, and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. So my YouTube is Ask Darling Nikki. All of my social media is all Ask Darling Nikki. You can go to the link in my bio, which is my website, and it'll have a link to all my social media there. So if you missed a video, you want to be a part of the conversation, you're interested in listening to the whole story, thank you. You can go to the YouTube, I would say sometime late tonight. In the meantime, you can check out other things on YouTube, check out some videos about the backstory. So I am Darling Nikki. My social media is Ask Darling Nikki everywhere. I am a full-time flight attendant. I am a mother of 4. I am a part-time singer and background actor. And I also have a book that I re-released recently. So if you'd like to support me, there are 2 ways that you can. Of course, stars and hearts and all that stuff, and gifts on all the social medias. But you can go to the website and order the book. It is an empowerment book. It's an anthology of me and I would say maybe 10 other co-authors that talk about our journeys. And I would say it's like chicken soup for the soul, but Black woman edition. Yeah, so chicken soup with some soul. With some actual soul. That is that book. It's called The Brilliant Awakening. So you can buy it on the website. And of course, like I just talked about, all the proceeds will help me keep paying these old attorney fees and just paying to stay in this fight, to protect me and my babies. And new book I'm working on whenever I can actually have time, which, what the fuck is that? What is extra time? But a new book that I'm working on as well called Record of Wrong. And I tell my stories. I talk about what I've been through. I talk about how I was a product of the child abuse to domestic violence hotline, how real that was, but how my ascension was even realer. And the fight that I'm in right now is, it's a spiritual one, I think, overall, because when certain forces have a stronghold on you for generations, and you do the work to break that shit, just like in the movies, these bad guys, they don't want to go away. They don't want to lose. And this motherfucker has lost. he's lost this fight and he ain't trying to take it. He doesn't want to let it go, especially after having to watch, and he has been watching and stalking for years, me and my children do better and continue to do better and to level up and do well without him, despite him. When you are an abuser, when you are an evil person, you hate that shit. It hurts your ego, and that's all this is about. That's all it's about. So I appreciate your helping me stay in the fight and stay in the game. I refuse to lose. Because I'm fighting for me and my children's peace. And my children have a right to live a life not having to go through any of the stuff that I went through. Period. That's all it is. All right, I'm out. Let me get back to housework and stuff. On my day off. Again, I don't get no damn days off. Just leave these fools alone. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone.